Good afternoon, everyone. Good to see you all. Good to see that you made it up. There was a point last Friday afternoon when I wasn't sure. So well done. There is still some snow around, but I think we're over the worst of it. So well done for making it along. So we've all lived through the seismic changes of the last 10 years. Spent a lot of time talking about them, thinking about them, and considering the implications of them. And some might say that we've set ourselves a seismic challenge with the conference of this, the title of this conference, Driving the Economic Machine. And it is the case that UK pension funds now invest a much lower share of UK equity than we ever used to. But it's also the case that we, collectively, the members of the PLSA, invest over £1 trillion worth of cash, members' cash, into businesses and assets in the UK economy and economies overseas. And that's a huge sum of money. That's equivalent to 50% of GDP. So we are people of influence. And we like to try and use that influence for good. We want to try and make the world a better place. Our work on the FRC review of the Stewardship Code is designed to help companies make better long-term risk-adjusted investment decisions. Our work on diversity, and I make this comment fully aware of the irony that I'm a male chair who's taken over from a female chair. Our work on diversity is designed to help companies make better decisions. Our work on investment costs and charges, transparency and disclosure is designed to lift the lid on the engine of investment returns, to allow the market to do its magic around competitive rating, and to allow fiduciaries to assess value for money. Our work on the CMA investigation into investment consultancy is designed to come up with recommendations that will work for pension funds, but also for the industry. And our work on local authority pooling and our longer-term agenda item of scale is designed to really rev up the economy, to try to drive better investment returns. But why is all of this important? Well, it's important for a very simple reason. If we can get better, long-term, risk-adjusted, more efficient investment returns, then we'll help DB sponsors to do the heavy lifting of their obligations around funding. And we'll help DC fund members to do the heavy lifting of providing a good retirement income. So it's important for a very simple reason. But the only way we're going to be able to use our influence for good is if we produce good quality policy argument. And some of you, if you were at the annual conference last year, will have heard me talking about this before. The quality of what we can do, the weight that we can leverage as a membership organisation is wholly dependent on you. Your association needs you. So we need more members, more involved in the policy debate, so that we can get better quality argument, we can test our arguments more thoroughly, and then there are more of us behind it, forcing it forward as a solid agenda. So we'd like more of you to get involved using our Open PLSA agenda. And we've got a couple of Open PLSA sessions over the course of the next couple of days at the conference stand, at our conference stand. And indeed, you're all taking part by being here, but please don't be passive. Please do be participants in the next couple of days. So, to the conference, and we've got a really interesting few days ahead of us. We're going to spend a bit of time looking backwards. In a moment, we've got Nick Clegg, the former Deputy Prime Minister, who's going to talk through being at the centre during that 10 years of turmoil, 10 years of change. And then tomorrow, we've got a session with historian Dan Snow that should be really interesting as well. But we also want to look forward. And after Nick, we've got Amlan Roy, who's going to talk about demographics, and specifically, and unusually, the impact of demographics on our assets as opposed to on our liabilities. And he's a fascinating man with some really interesting stories to tell. We've got great sessions on costs and charges, on risk, on the unwinding of QE, we've got a Scottish session with Ian Blackford MP, and I'm really looking forward to benefiting from the wages of sin first thing tomorrow morning. We've got great stream sessions. And then on Friday morning, we've got a session with that Gina Miller, that's her Twitter handle, the lady who took the UK government to court over the Brexit vote. She's a fascinating person. And then after her, we've got Laura Kunsberg, the political editor of the BBC, who's going to try and help us see through some of this political mist to try and get a clear vision of where this is all going to go to. So it's going to be an absolutely fascinating couple of days, and we've got some really interesting and fascinating speakers. Now, I need you to get involved, and you can do that in the old-fashioned way, just by sticking your hand in the air, or indeed you can do it through the conference app. You can use the conference app to plan your conference and also to rate the sessions. And what we'd love to hear about is not so much what's going well, we'd love to hear what you think isn't going very well about the conference. And if you're inclined to, then please also tweet. Let the rest of the world know what we're doing here using the hashtag PLSA Invest. So enjoy the next few days. It's going to be fascinating, it's going to be interesting, it's going to be stimulating. And I'll see you out there.